Welcome to another episode of the Get Hit podcast with Gang, and we're here. I'm your host, LP Conte, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, the name of this episode today is going to be called Entrepreneur, and I think it's very important that we discuss where all these things are going. I have a feeling that first of all, I feel like everything has been obvious. Now we know that schools are not really meant for entrepreneurs. They are meant for what do you call it? They are meant for they're meant for a like um to build people up per se. In terms of like to build people as employees instead of making them employers themselves. And so I'm here to talk about breaking the cycle because you know what? I know that no one is going to give a shit now, though, right? But I feel like very soon, when God permit, when I do become successful, it's going to be like, what are your secrets? What are all these things? And I feel like, I mean, to the seven people that listen, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for actually taking time to listen to this podcast. Uh and most of you guys are not even my friends or family. Like most of you are strangers, right? And I'm actually grateful for you guys taking time to listen to me speak. And I'm happy that you are now part of my journey to becoming successful. And I'm never gonna forget my first likes and my first sales and yeah, all that type of shit. But let's just get to it. Um, yeah, it's been quite a what do you call it a progressing thing because like we're not built with the mentality, or we're not taught in school with the mentality to build. We're taught in school with the mentality to take over, to replace old, employees, right? Like a cycle. And I feel like I started it started dawning on me so hard, and I started becoming very, very, very what do you call it, self-conscious about this because I was like I kept asking myself like, why is it that there are some people who could actually build, you know, billions and millions of dollars of businesses, but most people do not even want to attempt to build a business, right? And maybe it has changed like these past couple of years where nowadays, sorry guys, I'm just moving things around to talk properly. Yeah, I know, my bad. But maybe it has changed quite dramatically these past years, especially during the pandemic, where a lot of people have started getting inspired to create their own businesses, and the market has actually become saturated. Believe it or not, now every single avenue is a red ocean market. Like the only people swimming are the big sharks or the corporations, the monopolies. Those are the ones that you know are getting all the money and is leaving all the small businesses at stake. However, I'm not thinking about how to build a small business, which I think is the first and biggest mistake of every entrepreneur's life. We start scaling ourselves and comparing ourselves to big corporations because, quite honestly, that is what we should be doing. Like back in the day, you actually had time to grow, right? You had time to grow. You had a method. There was a methodical way of approaching things, to say the least. Like for instance, let's say you want to start a coffee business, right? You get your supplier. Suppliers were scarce, or not scarce, but not that out there, right? Then you have to go through this process, getting your supplier, learning about the coffee, learning about the trade, getting your business license, your establishment's license, finding a place, getting a location, and all the stuff like insurance and everything. But now the process is that it has become so easy that anyone could register a business, right? And also it has become so easy that anyone could find suppliers because suppliers have become abundant in almost every field. And I feel like that is actually scary because if we have everybody trying to be a business person or an entrepreneur, then who's going to be working, right? And this is the conflict that we are facing daily. And I've started a business, right? But actually, let's give it thanks to our sponsor, FarmerDex. online, bringing your pharmaceutical needs to you. If you want your personal, prescriptions delivered, if you're a pharmacy, you're looking for delivery drivers, call us. We are in the GTA area, and we have this rebate. Yeah, call us. We have the rates setting as low as $50 for bulk shipping for pharmacists, but individual rates could vary and differ. Please go on the pharmadexonline.com website to check it out. It's Pharmadex spelled PHARMEDX. Online is one word, online.com, to see the rates and to learn more about your services. Pharmacies, please do. These guys help us a lot. Nah, let's get back to the show. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, like, what was I saying? Like, I have a business, right? And I know the markets of these things because within a click, I could know where the suppliers are. Like, you could get good avenues for suppliers, right? The market has become, that's how saturated the markets have become. The thing is that in life, we can't just do trading, go buy. That thing is becoming absurd, at least in the first world country, is becoming the foundations of trade which existed through our life is now becoming decoupled. I said that I said that word very very weird. Decoupled, decoupled. Right, the foundations of trade, like the basic foundation of life in terms of transactional life, is becoming decoupled. Now, look, you're always going to need something, right? There's always going to be a service, but the reason why I'm saying is being decoupled is that suppliers and what do you call it suppliers and buyers are now so much close, right? And there's enough of them. Like, trust me, I know about 100 like factories on top of my head that I could go and look for one single product, right? So you're not getting variety, that person is not getting variety. The only way to actually become successful is to differentiate. But how can you differentiate, right, when the basic needs are all the same? You can't build a brand if nothing stands out for your brand. In order to build a brand, you have to be different. That's why, like, most clothing stores, most fashion, like the new coming fashion, the boutique, that's why they don't sell though, right? It's not even about fan bases anymore, because now you could go on the internet to look specifically for what you want, and you can't make a brand for everybody. So unfortunately, the people who've already been self-established brands are the ones that are going to have it the easiest, because they have a loyal following. I'm talking about the Gucci, the Prada, the Louis Vuitton, the what do you call it? The Chanel and all those people. They have a loyal following. So you, as a startup clothing person, you have to differentiate yourself. But how can you differentiate yourself when the basic needs are the same? For instance, you want to make a bag, right? How much difference can you make in the creation of the bag that it will stand uniquely for your brand? And also, nowadays, you can't even trust your own suppliers. You can't even trust your own suppliers to keep your trade secrets, because there's always going to be that one motherfucker who is always going to try and sell your trade secrets. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's so much saturated. It's like, that's why most pharmaceutical companies are like, you know, they stop suing anymore, because it's like, well, um, you said you use 500 grams of sodium. Okay, I'm just gonna use 100. Then I'm gonna use 100 plus of dithanol. Then I'm gonna use like 50 nitrate grams of nitrate or 50 grams of sulfuric nitrates. Then it's all this shit. Like, how can you claim that something is yours? You know that the foundation of it was stolen from your original idea. However, you can't claim it because there's all these different mixtures in it. That's why most pharmaceutical companies are like, fuck it, we're just gonna follow a generic blueprint. Because first, trade secrets used to be respected. Like, for instance, if I have a product, right? Let me use this example. I watch Foods That Made America, right? And there was this brand, the ice cream, the manufacturer of ice cream. Because come on, a lot of people manufactured ice cream, but the copywriter of ice cream, right? Actually, there were two people. The lollipop, no, the popsicle is different from the sandwich bar. That was the main difference. But when everything started being like becoming like what do you call it, conglomerated, and also like people started buying let's say if I want to make a popsicle, right? But I want to make like as an individual, I want to make a difference in the popsicle. But now the similarity are that of a sandwich bar. I could just go to the popsicle copywriter, buy a portion or the right to use his copyright and pay an annuity fee. And the ice cream, the sandwich guy will come and be like, "Yo, but your ice cream looks like a sandwich bar, not really a popsicle." But we'd be like, "Nah, but I have my permit to use from my popsicle guy, right?" If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, I want you to guys to go watch Foods That Make America, That Made America, and look at the ice cream example. It's a very good ice cream example. Like they actually, it's actually what is happening right now. So in the end, these two companies started feuding, and one got out because one was a public company and one had more fame. So the other company just made a deal with the other person's investors and just bought the whole company. Now, mind you, there was this was $1 million company then. Now ice cream's a billion, close to $1 trillion franchise. What I'm trying to say is that now you can't get anyone to protect your trade secrets because once someone could go buy a copyright from another person that does a similar thing to yours, they could just upgrade it to look like yours. And when you claim it's yours, they'll just refer you to the original person that they bought the copyright from. That is how so fucked the world has been because it has been so much profit driven. And I don't. I'm hungry for money. Like I want to be successful because I want to do successful people shit. Right? I know that nobody likes to work anymore. Let's be honest. The workaholics are running away from something. But I'm saying in general, everybody will like to, have this sort of like standard living and shit. And that's also brings me to communism. Like I think I am what do you call it? Markham Flagrant 2 said this like nobody has done communism right. And I always felt the same way. I'm like the concept and everything is good, but it's just the execution is bad. Because in the end of the day, greed always happens. And when people are like universal base income, I'm like, bro, you're talking about communism, right? Like all these rich people are saying that we need a universal base income. They are just using different words for communism. Because now they've seen that the capitalistic society is actually flawed. Everything is flawed, man. Communism is flawed. Capitalism is flawed. What else can you do that is not flawed? Life itself is flawed. But anyway, coming back to the what you call it, the entrepreneurs, like every single school manufactures um employees instead of employers. That's why in order for you to be an innovator, you need to think different. But the thing is that there's so many people who have saturated the innovation market, right? Because everybody thinks that their original idea is theirs, but the thing is that in hindsight, it has been thought over a billion times by somebody, and that's what's scaring me a little bit because honestly, I feel like everybody wants to know that one thing that is still going to work. And now, for my fellow entrepreneurs, it's not just enough to look at what is different that I could introduce. I think what we have to do is that we have to start forming partnerships instead of trying to create these sole businesses and these small businesses that saturate the market. I think it's better to go as partners. And to anybody listening to me, if you want to start a business, at least in this day and age, I think it's important that you look for partners, not you look for your own soul success. Because imagine that you have a partner and you start to form conglomerates. You guys, I know forming partnership is hard, but I have a formula for that. I don't really want to share it because I want to use it for myself in future, right? And when I do become successful, maybe then I'll be willing to share the secret. But there's a formula that I've devised that I want to use it for myself. Ayo, to anyone listening or to anyone who will listen in the future, and now I'm not saying I'm a self-proclaimed like entrepreneur. I still go to school, I still work. However, I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm saying that with what I've experienced, I think there are better ways to go about these things. And that is one of the most frustrating things that I also experience daily. It's like, to anyone who could relate out there, bro, we all feel like we could take over of an already existing job. However, we don't feel like we could make those jobs exist ourselves. Why is it that I've been thinking about this psychological blockage in my mind for a long time? I'm like, what is it that is limiting me to create new opportunities? What is it that is limiting me to actually think of how to make my idea in my head successful? What is limiting me? Is it the fact that I'm not trying? Is it the fact that I'm scared? Is it the fact that I've been programmed to feel like, oh, this CEO is doing this, I could go in and become a better CEO, rather than thinking, how can I solve this problem and how can I show these guys is different? You know, every single time that we we try to talk about these things, it just becomes uh a matter of mind over matter. Like, your will needs to be strong. But how can your will be strong when it's constantly being broken? To be an entrepreneur, I feel like you need to not only dream, but you need to be heartbroken. It it's not just enough to dream. It's not just enough for your will to be strong. I feel like you also need to have your heart broken. You need to have your desire squashed and the pain that comes with it. I think you need that as a motivation. Because what I've realized is that most of these rich people, at least those who didn't inherit anything from their dads, most of them finance through pain. I'm not talking about the Bezos and the Bill Gates and all that. Those people, were already made, bro. Like, and it's just that there's no one so far that I know of that has attained a billionaire status, and I want to change that. I want to be the one person that came and showed them that there was a different way to do things, rather than thinking that you could be self-made to do those things. I think Jim Shark was a pizza guy, but now he's worth, like, his company is worth $1 billion, but I don't think he himself is worth $1 billion. And I'm proud of him. Like, the what you call it, the creator of Gymshark. I think he's British, if I'm not mistaken. I don't, yeah, I think he's British, and he redefined gym clothes. Like, we went from the lemons to all these, like, brands, and he differentiated gym clothes. And now that he's done it, a lot of people are jumping on it, and then I just want to ask myself if maybe that was the best way to go about things, or, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. These markets have become super saturated. I'm talking about, like, clothing is the worst, because everyone wants to be like a fashion designer. Everyone thinks they have the best style. Everyone wants to be like Jim Shark. Everybody wants to me. My brand. I want to build a brand, but I wonder, like, what made them different? What did they do that brought people in? And how many years did they try? And that's another thing about entrepreneurs these ages, because it's the fact that we are able to see fast money. We are able to see that, like, a post, a TikTok, like, advert, like, one thing, one incident, one testimony, one advertisement could actually be your deal breaker or your deal maker. I think that's why, like, a lot of people are jumping on these things, because and doing the most absurd things, because, like, if I do have following, I potentially have a brand, because people are catered to me. But that's the thing. If you make your brand cater to you, when you fuck up, the brand goes down. But if you make your brand cater to your business, just like Gymshark has done, right? When the owner or the president of Gymshark fucks up, it doesn't really affect the entirety of his brand because you don't really give a fuck about, no disrespect, but people are not tuning in for Gymshark because the owner happens to be like attractive or he's a young successful person. No, they're tuning in and they're buying the product because Gymshark is Gymshark. They're buying the brand, right? The qualities. I've not used Gymshark, but I'm saying like I think people will be buying the quality and the brand of Gymshark instead of buying the owner of Gymshark. You see, that's where these two like differs. Elon Musk is tied into his company as well as tied into like himself. For instance, when Elon does something, it affects Tesla stocks. However, when Tesla does something, it affects both Elon and the Tesla stocks. That is the two ways of branding that I think we should do. And as entrepreneurs, I think I mean I haven't made money yet. It's been almost 3 years into this business and just losses upon losses upon losses. But you know, I know one day there's gonna be a big break. And oh yeah, I forgot to hit this point. I was gonna end the podcast, but there's going to be a big break. And I feel like if you're an entrepreneur right there, right, and you want to partner up, you know, uh call me. I will talk to like the one that I know, the one that I know is Pharmadex. I think Pharmadex Inc. is a good place to start my partner up. I could get you in contact with them, whatever, and you guys could talk about stuff. But if you're an entrepreneur and you actually believe that your idea is going to succeed, I think is now not it's going to help you when you document your yourself and the processes that you're going through, right? So myself, I have a book, right, that I write like, okay, these are my progress. I suck today. I call this. I made this. And you make mistakes and you just keep building up from it. But I think that before you start bringing people into your brand, though, there's a very important thing. Before you start bringing like people into your brand or into your website or into like your business, I think you need to be well prepared for these events. Like your website and everything should be on point. Those are your foundations. Your website, your businesses, your taxes, everything should be on point so that when they come, right, they stay. Because if your website, like Walmart, I feel like the Walmart website is trash, at least in Canada. It's so like, what was the word? So clustered and it's messy, and most of the word keys don't make sense, right? Because they didn't take that much time to design the website. That's why more people go to Walmart than the Walmart online. Fashion Nova's website is exceptional, not because it's an online business. I mean, it's an online business because if you're what do you call it? If your website is trash, I don't think you'd be a successful online business. But Fashion Nova's website is exceptional because it interacts with the customers in an appropriate way. Like when I go on Fashion Nova, I know that okay, these are the features. This is the store. After I'm done, I purchase and I go on, right? I click on it, it gives me the information about the products, shows me pictures and stuff. That is how you have to design your website, bro. You have to design your website in order for it to be interactive with your folks, with your clients. You can't just make a messed up website with no care, with spelling mistakes, because I have done it and people came to the website and they were not happy. But like I've done that, and I feel like you need to take care to develop your foundation, to build your website, to build your platform, to build like your gathering place, your gathering platform, so that when people come, it's easier for them to interact. Because once you make it difficult, like you could post a TikTok, you could post all these things, but once you make it difficult for them to interact with your website, people just start bouncing. Because why would I make things difficult when the next thing is just right around the corner? Okay. Um, Bringing clients. I feel like maybe we'll talk about this. I don't know whenever. I've not been able to achieve that yet, but um, yeah, I've not been able to achieve that yet. But I know for sure that one day, that when everything is all right, I'll update you on my progress on how I have been able to achieve clients. Once I actually start achieving clients, I'm not going to come here and lie to you because, bro, it's hard. You might think that there are plenty fishes in the sea, you could do that. No, there's actually a scarcity of them because I'm not the only one embarking on the mission to like what do you call it to gather all these people. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode. Once again, I want to thank our sponsor, Pharmadex Inc. Bring your pharmacy to you. Pharmadex Inc. is a platform where you could get your prescribed and non-prescribed medication for yourself, as well as what you call it. Yeah, it's not only for individual use. For pharmacies, you could deliver bulk um, pharmaceutical products to your retirement home to your clients. Yeah, and those rates start as low as $50 for pharmacy bulk products, and for individual rates as low as a $2 flat fee. Contact Pharmadex. You could go contact Pharmadex at info at Pharmadex online. The Pharmadex is spelled PHARMEDX. Online is one word.com. Or you could go to their website at you could go to their website at pharmadexonline.com. Once again, Pharmadex is spelled PHARMEDX. Online is one word.com to check the rates and their rebate program. They have an excellent rebate program where for pharmacies they have these draws where they take a client of what do you call it, a selected pharmacy, and they pay their monthly or sometimes up to their yearly medical prescription for them. So it could look good on you, the pharmacy, and it could also look good on your client because they get to save money. So once again, check out Pharmadex at Pharmadex online or info at pharmadex.com to get any information you want. Thank you again for listening to another episode of the Get Here podcast. Um, Please subscribe on SoundCloud. Wow, that sounded very ancient. SoundCloud. I don't know. Mine, my nose just closed. But please subscribe on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and anywhere that you listen to. Thank you. Bless you.